Hello everybody, Titanium Taco here today, going to review set 71771, the Crystal King Temple. This set contains 703 pieces, 6 minifigures, and retails for $79.99. The set itself consists of course of the temple and a small dragon build. So the first thing I'll be looking at is right here, the little dragon, and I gotta say the level detail on this little thing is actually quite nice. The pieces utilized is really well. I really like the use of the roller skate in black, really cool bit of detail, as well as the one sticker used on this entire build, really cool. The only thing I don't really like about it is the orientation of the wings, quite unfortunate. I just wish the orientation for them were a bit different. One more small thing that I would change about the build itself is the little clear piece. I'm pretty sure this piece does exist in black, so I definitely would change that color out for black, just to have 100% consistency throughout the little dragon build. Now moving on to the temple itself, the build contains two main components, which is the actual temple itself and the staircase bit that will hold a majority of the golden weapons, so we'll start off with this bit. Starting off at the bottom, you could see here the shurikens of ice, and the detail in this is also pretty well. You can see the usage of angles in the staircase, which is really nice, and the inclusion of the crystallized blades and just the dark transparent pink pieces to give it that crystallized feel. And of course, you also have the golden weapons, the shurikens of ice, as well as these purple tiles to represent some sort of like carpet. Moving up to the Sword of Fire, you have these little platforms to make it look like it's floating, and you also have this mechanism to bring up a crystal blade, almost like a trap. And yeah, it's pretty cool because these are being held up by Technic pins, or the Technic connection, to make it look like they're floating, and the mechanism itself also works really nice. And like I said, they do give that illusion of like floating little platforms, so they kind of rotate a little bit, so which is really nice, really cool. Moving back down and over to this side, we have another staircase, and this one's a little bit more flimsy, and that's because this one also contains an action feature. That being that the staircase itself can actually make a ninja fall, or a minifigure fall. And over to the left of it, of course, is another blade, but it is more for decoration as opposed to an action feature, and the detail down here isn't that great, but again, it's mainly supposed to look like it's floating, so it makes sense that the detail down here wouldn't be that great. But the action feature now is quite nice. You just pull the lever down and you move the entire staircase to the side, and it goes back and forth pretty much. And the whole purpose of this is to pretty much kind of distract the ninja from getting to their golden weapons. So you move the entire staircase and it kind of makes them fall down. So really cool mechanism, really nice, I think, and it does work with the lever, go forward and back. So really cool that it does that. And there's one more mechanism at the very top as well. This mechanism just pretty much pushes one of the ninja off. You know, when they get too close to the golden weapons, you just give them a good old smack and they fall down. Pretty simple, pretty nice, but it does get the job done. And the detail up here with the golden weapon pedestal is just the doorway, the framing of it, it's all really nice. The little crystal pieces I like as well. The spike at the top, the stickers being used, all really cool. Yes, stickers, but it's whatever, but it's still really nice, really cool detailing. But now when you are seeing it from the back, it is actually a bit less impressive. Here is the crystal bit, just to get a bit of detail. And again, all these platforms are being held up by like Technic connections. Pretty cool stuff. And as you can see here, the lever isn't that great, but just seeing this from the back isn't the best, but it's okay. It's just not flattering. That's why you always like to see this from the front. Now, moving on to the main build, the detail down below, like I said, isn't going to be that impressive. You do have the usage of the dark pink Technic pieces. Again, really cool, and just a little bit of ground detailing down here is good enough, but it's not, of course, the main thing you'll be looking at. It's what's on top of this. So the detailing down here isn't going to be that impressive, but still, it's okay. And like I said, it's held up by these Technic pieces, so really cool, give it that illusion that it's floating. Now all the rock stuff, really cool. The sticker, like the earth coming out of it, really cool, like the plants, all that little bit of detail is nice. The place in which the Silo Quakes is being held is not my favorite. The bit of carpet they're trying to represent there just doesn't work. It looks awkward, and there's just too much open space here for this one little weapon. So I'm not the biggest fan of this little area down here, but it's okay, it's whatever. And moving on to the side, of course, you have a small little jail cell. Really cool using the crystal pieces again. I do say crystal pieces, but I do just mean like dark pink pieces. It's all cool. And of course, going up, there's a little staircase, and you have the throne of the Crystal King himself. This area is pretty much the coolest part, the coolest area of the entire thing. The actual throne itself is really nice, really cool. I love the detailing with the sticker and just the pieces utilized to make the throne. One thing I do want to point out really quick, that the same pieces that were used for the little dragon, the clear pieces, I wish they would have used a new color for those. Dark pink would have been nice to kind of make everything blend in more, but it is whatever, it is what it is. But yeah, just the detailing on this thing is amazing. And then I really wanted to quickly point out is that actually most of this is built upside down, and as you can see here, there's this little gap, and I gotta say I'm not the biggest fan of the gap. That's the only thing I really don't like, the fact that it's kind of built upside down and then built upside up, I guess. But it works. I just wish it would have been just built slightly different. Yeah, the gap is the only thing I'm not the biggest fan of, so it still works though. And here is just one final look at the back of the temple itself. Not as bad as the front part, but still pretty bare bones, but regardless of which, the temple from the back doesn't look too bad as well. Really nice. And just really quick, here is what the Crystal King looks like on his throne. Really nice. Again, I just love the detailing around his throne. It's really cool. He looks really menacing, just as he should. The stickers used, great, fantastic. Just the whole aesthetic of the Crystal King is really nice. Crystal King, aka Overlord, really cool. And yeah, just the temple overall is pretty okay looking. So the first minifigure I'm going to look at is the Vengestone Warrior. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. I absolutely just love these figures. The printing on the figure looks amazing. This guy comes with a sword. Really cool piece, just really cool molds. This guy also comes with the armor. In period, these figures are fantastic. The printing, the molds, the color scheme, it's all just amazing. It's great. You can't really get any better villains than this, honestly. And once everything has been removed, you could see a better look at his torso prints, front and back. And again, the detailing on these figures is just phenomenal, and they're really great. And the final figure for the villains, before we go on to the ninja, is the Crystal King himself, aka the Overlord. Now, I'm going to say this really quick. I absolutely love and also kind of don't love this minifigure. Why do I love this minifigure? Well, I love it because the detailing on this guy, the printing on this guy is phenomenal. The mask is pretty cool. Kind of wish it was a mold, but it's okay. It's like a Oni mask type thing, but the printing on this thing is phenomenal. Absolutely love that. The one thing I kind of don't like about this, like the reason I kind of irks me the wrong way, is it's kind of bland, if that makes sense. So the detailing's amazing, but the figure himself is a full-on just gunmetal gray from top to bottom. Well, gray from top and then gunmetal gray from head to bottom. So of course he does have just that bit of color with the golden arms, but the entire minifigure is pretty much gray. Now, I think just adding a little bit more color to the minifigure itself would have made this figure 10 times better. Like, for instance, making the horns white and giving him those white teeth. I think that just would have added a bit of extra color for this minifigure to make the minifigure phenomenal. Just seeing it like this, all the gray just kind of brings this minifigure down a bit. But regardless of which, I think just adding that little bit of extra printing would have made this figure fantastic. Other than that though, still an amazing figure. And removing everything, you get a better look at the minifigure's torso print. And again, this print is fantastic. It's great. And if you pretty much had the figure like this, I think also would have been great. And you also do get to see the Overlord's head print. It's pretty great. Of course, this is the Overlord, so really cool that we got a new head print for that guy. And yeah, the figure itself is just pretty great. Again, the only thing I kind of do wish that his head was a mold and that it just had more printing on it. It would have been 10 times better, I think. Moving on to the ninja now, we're going to start off with Zane, my favorite ninja, and I gotta say, I absolutely love all of these figures. I think the color schemes work pretty well. And I mean, Zane, of course, is my favorite, so of course I'm going to love this figure. And even if I didn't love Zane, I think this is still a pretty fantastic figure. I also like that they changed the color of his headband, or the hood headband, to a different color blue as well, to kind of separate him from Nia, which is pretty nice. But yeah, the color scheme itself, really nice. I do question though why the show made his arms kind of like the leather part, I would assume, of his suit to be a different, like a darker tone versus the light bluish gray that is used in the figure, but it is what it is, honestly. But regardless of which, still a fantastic figure. He does also come with a sword, and you could also put the weapons of Spinjitzu in their hands as well if you don't want them to be on their pedestals. And with everything removed, you could just see more bit of the detail on the torso, especially the back printing. The face is the same one from the Sons of Garmadon, and again, the back printing just looks pretty well. It's just a fantastic figure. These figures are just fantastic, and I'll just be saying that all the time. Now, moving on to Kai. Again, the color scheme with Kai is pretty nice. I will say though that the dark red doesn't pop out as much as it could, because, you know, we got red and dark red, but I think still it is a nice color scheme. Again, you could have the Sword of Fire with them, and he also does have the silver katana. Regardless of which, the printing on this figure is pretty great, and again, the color scheme is really nice. The light printing is also really nice with the little knee pads as well. Really cool figure overall. And having removed everything, as you can see, it's the same minifigure head that we've got since the movie, and it's just a good figure. Again, the back printing, you could get a little better look at that. Really good printing on the back and on the front. It's just good printing overall, good figure overall. These are just good figures. The hood is good for this one as well. It's just good. Thumbs up. And I gotta say, I absolutely love Cole's. I don't know what about Cole's that makes his figure a little bit different compared to the rest of the ninja, but I actually think Cole's minifigure might be my favorite. Only because the colors just work. They pop so much more, surprisingly, for being, you know, black gray, you know, like this color scheme just works for me. Also, the orange accents also are really nice, and the printing just seems so much better on this minifigure than the rest of them. I don't know why. It just seems more appealing to my eyes than the rest of the figures. It's kind of hard to explain, but I just absolutely adore the way this figure looks. And with everything removed, you see the same head as the one used from the movie, and you also get a better look at the back printing. Again, fantastic printing all around. Figure is fantastic. Lastly, we have Jay, Master of Lightning. And I gotta say, this one's my least favorite one. Still a really good figure with amazing printing. But the thing I don't like about this one, especially when you see it on its side view, is the hood. I do not like the hood. I think they should have kept the color scheme of his previous hood, which works much better, primarily the hood being the blue and then the band being dark blue. I don't know why they switched the colors up here, but I just do not like it, unfortunately. It's not good. It's too much of the dark blue, I feel like, compared to the rest of the minifigure, because you have the whole minifigure blue is like a blue color, and then you have the dark blue. So I don't know, from the front it doesn't look that bad, but if you look at it from the side, you can definitely see it, and it's just too much dark blue in my opinion. And again, with everything removed, you see here it's the same minifigure head that we've gotten since the movie, and you get a better look at the back printing. Just the printing overall on this figure is great. The only thing I don't like is the hood. Lastly, here is a quick look at the very sad instruction looking booklet. Again, it's just a stock image, quite unfortunate, no detail, but whatever. Next up is the spare pieces you'll get in this set, and very lastly, here are the sticker sheet. A good number of them, but they're actually really good and add a good level of detail to the build itself. And there you guys have it. That is my review for 71771, the Crystal King Temple. I think what I said before on my initial thoughts of these sets, with the set kind of feeling a little bit skeletal, needing more buildings, kind of like making it seem more like a temple, I think still holds true. The set does still feel a bit skeletal in my opinion. It's mainly just a staircase that goes to pedestals, to the golden weapons. I just wish that we could have seen more shape of a temple, and it kind of works with the main build, but I still think it could have been bigger and not focus too much on like these little, mechanisms for the golden weapons. But I mean, it is a kid's toy, so it makes sense. And yeah, I mean, 703 pieces. If you had another 100 pieces, I definitely could have seen this set being $79.99, but it is not 800 pieces, so I don't think it is that worth for $79.99, especially like I feel like this set lacks substance. So only thing this set really has going for it is the 4 exclusive minifigures, with that being the Ninja. So if you want to get the set, get it. If you could find it for cheaper, maybe get it. But I mean, if you really want it, I still think it's a little bit worth, but it really is up to you, the viewers. So with all of that said, hopefully you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. Make sure to leave your comments down below on what you think of the set and what set you guys have. So Taco out.